Over the past 2 years that I've been on fashion YouTube, we've gone through so many different brands for white t-shirts. We've seen some very high ups and we've also seen some very low lows. But I have come to the conclusion, and I have said this time and time again, but there is no such thing as the one singular perfect white t-shirt, because there's so many different factors, including fabric weight, the lifestyle of the wearer, the saturation of white you're looking for, the construction, length, fit, sizing, the type of cotton that you're using. Even now I've been seeing blends with hemp, with linen, nylon, polyester, all different types of t-shirts that all serve a different purpose, which is why there really is no such thing as the one singular perfect t-shirt. But with that being said, today I wanted to talk about my top picks for all of the t-shirts that I've ever tried out, and just do one concise video where I talk about all of the best ones that I've cycled through. This is definitely a great guide for someone who's looking for a really nice luxury white t-shirt that's gonna last longer, that's gonna age down well, that's gonna stay white, and is overall gonna elevate your everyday wardrobe. So today we're gonna start off with probably the most easily accessible t-shirt, which is the Buck Mason Toughknit Made in the USA t-shirt. And for those who haven't seen the video before, I actually did a walkthrough in the Buck Mason USA knitting mill myself, where they allowed me to document exactly how the t-shirt is made, literally from beginning to end. And I'm not gonna go too much into detail on the factory in this video, because that's not really what this video is about. It's about more so the product. But if you are interested in that, definitely make sure to check this video out. But the Buck Mason Made in the USA t-shirt is a t-shirt that not only has an incredible feel, a super soft buttery touch, it's beautifully lightweight yet still substantial enough to wear throughout the fall winter. It is cut and engineered and inspired by the vintage t-shirts of the 1940s to the 1950s and 60s, when America was still manufacturing t-shirts right here on our own land. And these were some of the best t-shirts that you could ever get. And unfortunately that whole notion kind of went out, but Buck Mason ended up purchasing their own knitting mill in Pennsylvania, which happened to have been one of these great manufacturers, which is why this t-shirt from Buck Mason mirrors some of the best quality and the best construction with a little bit of that old world feel. And for a made in USA garment, I think these are perfect for any budget, for anyone who's looking for a luxury t-shirt. And as far as I'm concerned, they're pretty good with stock sizing, so you're probably gonna have a pretty good chance at getting your hands on these. Next up, I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball and talk about a brand that is actually more of a retailer than a fashion brand in and of itself, which I believe actually works to their benefit. And that retailer in specific is the retailer Standard & Strange, which is a retailer that I hold very near and dear to my own heart. I love them like family. They've treated me so well over the years, and we've done so much content together, and I love that. And recently they dropped their own Wakayama knit made in Japan loop wheel t-shirt, which is one of the softest slubby loop wheel tees that I've ever had the pleasure of trying out for myself. And not just that, but somehow they got such a beautiful, almost porcelain saturation of white on this t-shirt. The ribbing on the collar especially is super soft. It is something that I noticed against all of the other t-shirts that we have talked about, because the ribbing is just slightly thicker than the others. And the reason why I feel like Standard & Strange becoming a full-fledged brand for menswear quality basics and other men's fashion items alike is because Standard & Strange for years now has been surrounded by some of the best made in Japan and made in the USA luxury garments. So they're surrounded by this. They understand quality, they recognize it, they know how to deliver it, and they also have the connections to do so because they do business with so many different people. And this is just a testament to exactly how well Standard & Strange knows clothing. They know how to make luxury pieces that allow you to own less and own better. And this is one of the softest and lightest loop wheel t-shirts that I've ever tried. This is definitely the perfect summer garment for someone who wants something a little bit more emphatic and styling, but doesn't want something super thick. I mean, I can already tell this is gonna be a daily t-shirt wear for me in the summertime. It's absolutely perfect. The cotton drape, the sheen that it has, the texture that it's got, it's subtle yet it's a little bit slubbier than most, which usually you get when you have a heavier weight t-shirt, but this one really is like the perfect everyday wear. It's not super heavy, it's also not so light where it feels like it's gonna rip anytime soon. Standard & Strange literally, in my opinion, struck the absolute perfect balance. As traditionally with most of the loop wheel fabric coming from Japan, these t-shirts are uncut, so they have no side seams, meaning that the fabric has a little bit bit more of that straight, more heritage style kind of feel, as well as the kind of fit. It's a little bit more comfortable, and it's just one of those details that fashion aficionados and fashion lovers alike will notice. And not to mention that the loop wheel fabric itself is actually a rare commodity because there are only a finite amount of loop wheel machines still available in the world, and the only two countries that have them are Japan and Germany. So for Standard and Strange to get their hands on a machine that makes these t-shirts is wildly impressive. Now for the next t-shirt, going off of the loop wheel theme, we're gonna go right over to the German loop wheel t-shirt, and this is probably in my top 3 favorite t-shirts of all time. I mean, the number one always switches between the top 3, it just kind of rotates, but the Merz B Schwanen German loop wheel tee is unlike anything else in t-shirts that you will ever feel, that you will ever find, that you will ever see. Even for t-shirts that cost more than this t-shirt, sometimes even more than double, even triple the price of Merz B Schwanen, and they won't even come close to the value that the Merz B Schwanen t-shirt brings. This was the first luxury t-shirt that I had ever had that I liked, and it just so happens to be the t-shirt that Carmi wore on the bear. And there was a period in time where everybody was covering this t-shirt, but when I had first gotten it, it was literally like night and day from the regular t-shirts that I was wearing. And not just because of the packaging that the t-shirt came in, but also just because you immediately felt the difference, as opposed to other luxury t-shirts where they tell you that it's going to take some time to feel the difference. This t-shirt, before wash, before wear, as soon as you take it out the package, you could see the difference, you could feel it. It starts off a little bit with like a creamish, kind of eggshellish white. It's not too creamy, but there is a little bit of tint that is gonna eventually wash out though. But the feel, the fit, the construction of this t-shirt is definitely of the top tier pinnacle of luxury when it comes to white t-shirts. Complete with an underarm gusset, which is actually input into the t-shirt for extra movement as well as comfort. Absolutely no side seams because this is a German loop wheel machine made cotton fabric for the t-shirt. The supremely done hemming and construction details, as well as the binded collar, which is made to avoid bacon collar or bacon neck, which is one of my least favorite things in t-shirts, all the way down to the fabric itself, the slub, the texture, the heavyweight feel. I mean, this t-shirt is true to the price tag. I mean, I promise, you will notice the difference. The only thing you want to keep in mind though is that you want to pay attention to the sizing, because the sizing is a little weird when it comes to loop wheel made garments. It's a little difficult to pinpoint, but as long as you check out the measurement chart, you should be good on your own. Next up, I want to talk about the latest venture I made in t-shirts, which is the Bronzon MFG heavyweight gusset tee. And I've tried their regular tees before, but the heavyweight gusset to me is the best Bronzon product that I have tried out so far. And for those who don't know, Bronzon MFG is a Chinese brand that manufactures heritage-inspired American-style garments for as minimal cost as possible while still trying to deliver as high a quality as possible. But the thing is, keep in mind, you do still get what you pay for, but at the end of the day, this t-shirt appearance-wise is a really nice t-shirt. It's got a lot of that slub. It's got the nice gusset detail at the collar. Granted, it's not a real gusset, which Benzak over at Wonderlooper actually told me how to identify that it's a fake gusset. And basically, the ribbing on the front of the gusset is not mirrored on the back, so it's not exactly a real gusset piece. But to be honest, the style is beautiful. And I mean, for 30 bucks for a really nice USA cotton t-shirt that sure is ring spun in China, but it's still not a bad t-shirt at all. It looks really nice. I love the super thick gusset detailing regardless. The collar is nice and large. I mean, me personally, I probably would have preferred it a little smaller, akin to the other t-shirts that we showed, but that just gives it a little bit more of a really interesting feel, a little bit more of a unique kind of identity against other t-shirts. And I think that because of the price point, for those who want a little bit more of a budget-friendly garment for a white t-shirt, the Bronzon MFGs are perfect for you. But like I said before, in fashion, you do kind of usually get what you pay for, and these are not real loop wheel t-shirts, unlike what I said before. Unfortunately, I was misled by Bronzon MFG, where they said that it was a loop wheel t-shirt. Rather, it's a loop wheel style t-shirt. t-shirt, because it's not made on an authentic loop wheel machine, as it is a garment made in China, but at the end of the day, it is still a very nice garment for the opening range luxury white t-shirt category. Next up, I want to talk about another made in the USA brand, which is Field NYC, which is a brand that I also hold very near and dear to my heart. Christian McCann, the owner of Field NYC, also treats me like family. He treats my own family like family, and he's an absolutely wonderful man who is truly passionate about bringing back made in America fashion back into the mainstream as much as he possibly can. And with that, he utilizes some of the best fabrics in the world, one of which being the Wakayama knit t-shirt that he has, which is the thickest Wakayama knit t-shirt that I've ever seen, and the slubbiest t-shirt out of any t-shirt that I've ever tried as well. There is no doubt that this t-shirt is full of texture. It has an amazing plush, almost pillowy kind of feel. The sheen that it has, the color that it has, all coupled with the expert craftsmanship of the made in America artisans that make these t-shirts is completely unmatched. And I mean, with Christian's attention to detail, these t-shirts to me are super worth it. And at the end of the day, when you're buying a left field garment, you're not buying a garment from a corporate setting. You're not funding some CEO's yacht vacation or whatever you want to call it. You're helping fulfill a dream for a man who saw a hole in American fashion and just wants to make a living, as well as just bring back some of the culture in menswear that he fell in love with. The Left Field Wakayama knit t-shirt is also in my personal top 3. It is one of the best t-shirts that I've ever worn, hands down, without a doubt. And if you can, I highly recommend you stop by their Ridgewood, Queens location. And if you can, I highly recommend just trying at least one of these out for yourself. Next up, we got the Benzak Denim Developers Ecru Heavy Gusset tee. And I love this t-shirt because it was the first gusset that I ever got my hands on, and it is the perfect blend between something akin to the Merz B Schwanen as well as the Bronzon MFG heavyweight gusset tee, because it's got kind of the best parts of both, namely the gusset detail on the front right under the binded collar. And I also love that the collar style itself is still binded, but it's a little smaller as opposed to the Bronzon MFG, which is a little bit big. I think Benzak has the perfect weight as well as the perfect look for this kind of style of t-shirt. It's also got a really nice creamish kind of color that does whiten up over time, but I do like that it starts off a little bit eggshelly because it provides a little bit of like a softer contrast in outfits, especially when trying to pair certain colors. But this is just a beautifully made t-shirt with one of the crispiest hems ever done on a t-shirt, expertly made construction, a super nice straight fit, and is definitely one of the heavier t-shirts in this category that we've covered. I would say this is probably the heaviest t-shirt that you're gonna get for under $100 because it is very substantial and dense, yet it does still have a really nice soft buttery feel, but it doesn't at all feel like it's gonna rip or tear. Benzak Denim Developers really struck a nice balance with this one, and I'd say if you're looking for a heavyweight t-shirt that you could wear pretty much on the daily in the fall winter for a layering piece or for whatever you're doing, or maybe even as a solo piece in the brisk mornings of the spring season, you should definitely check one of these out. And not just t-shirts, but Benzak Denim Developers has so many different garments that they make super well. They just happen to make t-shirts especially well too. Next up, I want to talk about another made in the USA brand, which is Poolhouse New York. And Poolhouse has been making waves recently, especially amongst the menswear community, because they really do love interacting with us, and they do very well at kind of explaining and showcasing the production of their garments. They literally are hand to hand with us and are super transparent, very open with how they work and how they manufacture. And this is a brand that makes one of the best t-shirts in the USA, right in Los Angeles. And I love this t-shirt because it's not really trying to copy anything heritage. In fact, it's trying to kind of make its own subcategory of t-shirts where it's something that's super cropped, yet still has a nice kind of straight fit, but tight at the arms to show off the muscles. And it doesn't mirror a traditional binded collar that you would see on the 1950s t-shirts, yet somehow they engineered it to not bacon neck, which is really interesting. The Poolhouse Poolhouse t-shirt is definitely unlike a lot of the t-shirts that we covered in this video, but also unlike mall-bought t-shirts, which are literally just some of the worst t-shirts I've ever tried. Poolhouse is something different because they really want to modernize the American style t-shirt and kind of make it their own, and I love that. It's not trying to be a super heavyweight t-shirt. It's not trying to be a Merz B Schwanen. It's not trying to be a vintage t-shirt. It's just trying to be a modernized, very soft, super drapey, slightly cropped, beautifully made in the USA t-shirt, which is something that I really respect. Granted, they do have other t-shirt models that are akin to the heritage style t-shirts, but this one just is a little different, and I like that a lot. Alright guys, for the last t-shirt that I want to talk about, I want to touch upon a brand that is literally record breaking. And Wonderlooper is a brand that is started and helmed by the geniuses of manufacturing, namely Benzak and Lisa, who actually both used to work at Naked and Famous, but now they had their own brand and are now going full speed right into Wonderlooper, which quite literally makes the heaviest t-shirts in the world, without a doubt the heaviest t-shirts that I've ever tried, while utilizing traditional Japanese manufacturing and just pushing the boundaries of what is possible when it comes to fabric technology, when it comes to construction, when it comes to made in Japan garments. And I mean, the both of them together, it's like a super mind of luxury manufacturing and luxury goods, because these t-shirts, namely the double heavyweight, are absolutely insane. Granted, they do have a stark super white porcelain kind of colorway. I wasn't able to get my hands on that one, but I got my hands on the close second, which is the ecru. It's got a slight kind of ecru, little bit of like a lighter eggshell color to it as well, akin to the other t-shirts that we've talked about. But if you want to get the super white one, you definitely can. I just like the ecru because it provides a little bit of a softer contrast again when wearing other colors. I also have their triple heavyweight black t-shirt, which is by far the heaviest t-shirt I've ever had. It's more like wearing a blanket than anything else. But the double heavyweight is perfect for everyday wear. It's super strong, and for something as heavy as this, you would expect it to feel a little bit like sandpaper, but no. This one feels like the perfect balance between a rugged garment as well as something that's aiming to be softer and aiming to be broken in over time, much like a pair of raw denim jeans when you get it, which is kind of profound considering how they used to work with a bunch of different fabric mills. I mean, that knowledge and that love and passion for garments that age over time is truly evident in their own brand of Wonderlooper, because you can tell that these t-shirts come to you super raw, but are eventually gonna soften over time with wash and wear. If I could, I would have an army of Wonderlooper t-shirts just because they're so good. I love wearing them, and they really can take a beating because of the heavyweight nature. And guys, I know I've said this about a lot of the t-shirts that we've spoken about, but the Wonderlooper double heavyweight and the triple heavyweight are two t-shirts that truly exemplifies literally what it means to be one of the best made t-shirts in the entire planet, and probably the heaviest weight t-shirts ever made in history. But yeah guys, thank you so much for watching the video, and hopefully you found something that you liked. If there's any t-shirts that I missed, definitely let me know down in the comments. But today I just wanted to talk about t-shirts that I've actually owned and experienced myself, but I would love to hear about your experience with other t-shirts and garments that you like that have lasted you a super long time, or even if you guys have tried out some of the t-shirts that we've named today and let me know how your experience is, that is also welcome too. But guys, I just want to take a moment to shed some light on what's going on in Los Angeles. I really want you guys to not ignore what's going on in the state of California. I mean guys, not just because most of the United States manufacturing for men's fashion is in Los Angeles, but also because it's something that really hits home to me. I have friends that live over there. I have people that I work very closely with who live over there who have lost everything, and you know, God forbid that something like that ever happens in New York. I mean, I don't even know what we would do. So what I'm gonna do is, guys, I'm gonna try and find a donation link that I will make absolutely no money off of. This is purely just because we have to come together and support Los Angeles. I've never done anything like this on my channel before. I usually don't like to touch upon subjects like this, especially at the end of the video, but this is just something that's really sad going on in my own country. And for all of my American viewers, I mean, it's going on in your country too. And guys, if you can't donate anything, then at the very least, you know, you can spread awareness. I mean, this is one of the perfect opportunities for us to come together and show the humanity that we have. And I just really hope and pray that the families, as well as the people fighting the fires in California, are okay. And we will recover from this. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And with that being said, thank you guys again. And I'll see you next week.